Okay, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so somebody sent me a request yesterday to teach y'all. There's a lot of crap on my desktop. I'm really sorry. Um, they wanted to know how to separate a full body mesh into a top and a bottom. So I thought we'd just start with that.
Nicole?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello? Can y'all hear me? Okay. Then maybe Sarah's just having issues. How about you, Sarah? Are you good? Hello, hello, hello. Ooh. Okay. So, we are going to find something simple to separate just because, let's say you separate this one. Ooh, there we go. That one. You're going to have clipping issues on the legs with the top where the texture wants to go. It's just weird. I can help y'all with that later if y'all ever want to do that. But when you try to take something like this that's a longer top and you try to put it over other pants, sometimes there's issues, or you try to, it's just, I don't know how to explain it right. That's the problem. Maybe I've been awake too long. Um, the texture wants to bleed onto the other pants. That's what I'm trying to say. So we're going to take something simple, like, let's see, like this. And we're going to separate it. Now, thank you. I can hear the notification that y'all are following or something, but it's not popping up for some reason. Because, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. That would be why. I thought we set all that up yesterday, but I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so you want to export the mesh. And of course, you're going to need Blender. And if y'all have questions, tell me. Talk to me. It is popping up for you. Good. I even changed my notification sound this morning. Sarah, aren't you proud? My computer is being slow for some reason, but it's exporting. So, how are y'all this morning? Talk to me. Somebody talk to me. Okay, we want to make you smaller. Okay, so the first thing I do is I just join it all together. So you hold control down, you click it, each piece. You move the mouse over here, control J, it's all one mesh now. It's so much simpler. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning here, and I'm just trying to make sure that my brain isn't fried. Okay, now, if you want to do the top, I do a simple way where I tend to use the same top over and over. Let's see. I usually pick a tank top. And I'm going to grab a bottom too so that I can show y'all how to do the bottom. Now with these, you want to export them too, just so that you can see, excuse me, so you can see what the cut numbers are. When pick, I do it so often that I usually know what top, bottom, and full body piece are just going to be one mesh because I really just hate cut numbers. So if I have to, I will separate the thing into multiple layers, but if not, I'm just going to do one mesh. So I tend to pick what I know will just give me one cut number to make it easier on myself. And because I'm lazy. Okay. See, I don't do enough bottoms, so I picked a bottom that's like 3. Of course. We'll start with the top. Because the top should be just 1. I don't drink coffee either. Coffee's nasty. Coffee's gross. I've been drinking grape juice. It's so weird. Like, because I can't hear y'all, I feel like y'all can't hear me. Okay, now, this one is just one layer. So, no, coffee's nasty. No coffee. Coffee gross. I'm sure there's probably like a better way to do this than what I do. But you want to select, which I'm using L, the bottom, and you want to delete it with X and then delete the vertices. Then I go and I append a crap. It's just got a bitter aftertaste, and it's just, I worked at a coffee shop in California when I lived there for about a year, and I tried everything I made, and I never found anything I like. Oh, now see, my ex used to put hot chocolate in his coffee. It was funny. So you can get the nude meshes from Sims 4 Studio, and I add in the bottom, and I delete this just to make it cleaner. And I take this and I hit this so it shows up through it. And I delete just a little bit so it doesn't stick out the top of the shirt. And then I look at it from all angles to make sure it looks okay. Then I join it. Then I save it. Am I confusing anybody yet? Technically, we could have, let's see, we could have just not appended the nude mesh. And we could have done this. This might actually be easier for some people. And then take the other one and append that top over it. You can really do it either way. You want to hit object, you want to hit this, and then, no. Then you've got, let's see, delete this. Now, why aren't you, there we go. Okay, so we've got, okay, then you can just delete the one that was originally there. And you can take this one and just rename it as 1. And look down here and make sure the cut number is fine. You can do it this way too. Sometimes I do it one way, sometimes I do it the other way. It all depends on if I'm paying attention to what I'm doing or if I'm just doing it. And then we'll save it as that. Then you import it back on this top because you want it to be a top and not a full body. Let's see, we also need the texture. Texture, texture, texture. See, I usually just drink juice in the morning and then switch to sweet tea. Sometimes chocolate milk. But my mom doesn't drink coffee either. So maybe it's like hereditary. I don't know. Okay, so then it looks like this, but we want the texture. Now, depending on, what did that save as? I knew it would do that. Why did they change it? And now it wants to do that all the time. Okay, so maybe it's not hereditary. I think my dad used to drink it. Okay, so then you import the texture. Now, the pants are still going to show up because they're more texture than they are actual mesh. Um, so you have to go into Photoshop and delete the pants. Y'all know how to do that, right, in Photoshop? Is that something y'all need me to show you? I'm going to load Photoshop to show y'all. But my Photoshop takes a while. I should have loaded it before, but I didn't think about it. I was thinking about Blender and this. So while it looks like the pants are there, it's really just texture. The mesh is just the top. I should have picked like something with a skirt. That would have looked a lot better. Because yeah, Photoshop takes forever. And then you just do the same thing but with the pants. You do, the same thing as the top but the opposite. Am I making any sense or am I just totally confusing y'all? It's funny. It's like I know y'all can see my screen, but at the same time, I feel like y'all can't. And I tend to randomly click on things. Photoshop's going to take like 10 minutes to load. It's a pain in the butt. I feel like my chat goes slower than what y'all are actually typing. Yeah, it does. And the funny thing is, it used to take longer before I took all the plugins out. Used to, it loaded like super quick. And then I added like all the Topaz plugins, and it would take like a half hour to load. And so I took them all out except for clean. And now it takes like 5 or 10 minutes to load. It's a pain in the butt. It seems like it's taken longer than it did right after I took them out, though. Anyways, chat does have a delay. Huh. Did this make sense to y'all? Are y'all good with this? Because, I mean, if this made sense to y'all, then we can move on to something else, which I know is what y'all really want to do, where I go and I take meshes and I frankenmesh. And I forgot to turn my phone down, sorry. Yes, Sarah, do, because I feel like I'm in a tunnel or something. I don't know. I feel alone. Talk to me, Sarah. Talk to me. I really hate Photoshop. Anyways, what you would do is you would go into Photoshop and you would take, we're going to open the picture. Okay, so we would go into Photoshop and we delete, we select all the part of the pants and we delete it. And then we go to the alpha layer and we delete that too. And then save it as the top. And then you have the top separated from the pants. And like I said, you just do. I didn't hear it. Did I mute Discord? My Discord is being a butt. Look at that. That's the problem. The problem is Discord. Okay. Oh, there we go. Wow. Look at all this. It just went crazy. Sarah, are
Hello.
you there? Yes, thank you. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
I'm
here.
like when there's no sound. I mean, I've even got music on in the background on the TV, and I still feel like I don't know, it just feels weird. I feel like I'm talking to myself. This is why I didn't want to stream. I don't even want to make YouTube videos, but I do. I'm weird. So I am making sense.
I missed a couple of parts, but you know me. But I'm a blender, but you know me.
But yeah, but it's easier than you thought it was, isn't it? Photoshop. I hate Photoshop. I don't want to deal with Photoshop. Um, since I actually got Photoshop open for learning purposes, because I told people that I would put this on YouTube in case they couldn't come, because I really don't know who the Anon was. It was an Anon. Okay. I'm lazy. I do things the fast way. This is why I hate doing recolors and stuff. I always just want to make the mesh and then the rest of it I don't want to do because Photoshop is so slow. And that's why I recolor all my hair on paint.net because I hate Photoshop. There we go. Now we have a top. And then I go in because I'm not smart and I've tried to learn to do all these other things and I can't figure it out. Every time I do it, it just screws up the whole thing. So I just go in and make this all blank. Maybe eventually I will learn to do this and make it right, but I haven't yet. So I go in and make it all blank. I save it. I change the categories to whatever they need to be, and then I do the loads. So, to do the loads, that's another thing I can teach y'all. It's not Discord that hates our voice call, I don't think. I think it was my Photoshop with lag and everything. Um, Try it again, Sarah, and see if it's Discord or if it was just my Photoshop lagging it out while it was loading. Because I'm curious. Okay, so what I'm doing is closing that one, going into this one. Okay, now, like I said, this is a way that I learned. I don't know if it's the only way. I don't know if it's the best way. But to make the loads, I go in and I close this and I decimate it and I make it look fairly decent. I usually go between 60 and 70. You there, Sarah?
Yeah.
Is it still lagging it?
Not yet. I'll
I
let you
think
know.
it was Photoshop was booting up and everything on my computer lagged for a second because Photoshop hates me. So when you do
As
this,
long as
as long as what?
as long as everyone can still hear you. I don't want you to start breaking up because of our voice
Oh,
call.
if I start breaking up, y'all tell me. I was just curious if it was actually because I know you had some problems doing voice calls on Discord while you were streaming, but you were like actually playing a game. I'm not doing
I
all
had to
that.
switch to
To Skype.
Skype.
Um, when you decimate it, if you are doing a hair has to have 3 mesh layers. I do one layer and then I copy and paste another layer. I change it to 2 and then I go down here and I change this to 1. Then I copy and paste another layer, change that to 3. Right here, I rename it to, let's say, 3. Then I go down here and I change it to 002, like that. And then you have 3 layers. This only needs 1 layer, so I can just decimate it right here. And then I save it as, ow, stop. Sorry, my dog is laying behind me and she's pushing her feet into my shoulder. She's asleep. She don't even care. I save it as that. Then I go back here and I import Senna. I mean it. You've got to stop. That really hurts. And I load that. Then while that's loading, because it takes a minute and I'm impatient, I go back here and I do it again. And I hit apply. And I save as. This is like the easiest part of all of it, is making the loads. Now with hairs, I haven't learned to do hat chops yet, so I do it the same as I do this. I found a tutorial for hat chops. I just haven't taken the time to go read it or watch it. I can't remember if it's a video or if it's written. I haven't taken the time to go learn. There you go. So we have that one, and we have this one, and then I just keep decimating it to between 60 and 70 for each one. Oh, wrong one. Oh well, you get the idea. Is everybody keeping up, or am I not making sense? How about you, Sarah? Do you understand what I'm doing? Okay, so you do that until you have all your loads done, and then you save it, and then you're done. Well, I mean, if you want to go in game and take pictures and make thumbnails and all that good stuff, and you can do, where are you lost, Sarah? You can take all the other swatches and just delete the pants and then do each one. When it's something like what I did yesterday, um, it's a lot more difficult. Where's the one I did yesterday? Okay, when I did this one yesterday, there's a shadow on the top under the wrap, and I just took let's see, let's pull the texture up from that. Oh, I moved it to my external hard drive. Anyways, um, I took the left or the right side, left side, whatever you want to say, the other side of the top, and I copied it and I flipped it and I layered it over top of the shadow and just fiddled with it till it looked right. Um, so that's how you separate. And like I said, you do the same thing with the pants, just opposite. You delete the top and leave the pants or the skirt or whatever it is. Now, yeah, well, I was determined because I wanted the top too. And normally I would just been like, this is too hard. I'm not going to do this. But I spent like 2 days taking each individual swatch and covering up the shadows because I really wanted that top. So now I just want it recolored and I don't want to do it. So I posted the Photoshop file so somebody else can do it. So if y'all are all understanding so far, do you want me to take a couple of meshes and slap something together and show you how to join meshes in Frankenmesh? Would you prefer it to be clothes or hair? Y'all tell me what you want to see. I leave too many things open. I'm really bad about having all kinds of things open. Um, I'm happy with Wildly Miniature Sandwiches palette or my Mad Hatter Mini. And I've got it separated for the trim to be a different color. It's not perfect, but um, in the file it's already separated into layers. I just don't, the reason why I want it recolored is a lot of them have gold, and I'm just not a gold person. So I just want the trim in either white, black, or gray. I don't really care. Something neutral. So I'm happy with either of those palettes because they both have enough colors to go with my difference in the family tree rainbow sea and my not so berry when I start that back. So, do y'all want to see hair? Or y'all want to see me Frankenmesh a hair, Frankenmesh an outfit? What do you want to see? An outfit's probably easier. Hair's kind of complicated. Let's see. What I'm about to do may look weird, but we're going to see how it looks. Nine times out of 10, when I make an outfit, I put it on the same mesh package because I know that it's only going to be one layer and I don't have to like chop the legs because I just can't be bothered with that because I'm lazy. No, usually it's because I have issues and it never looks right for me. Sometimes it is because I've just dealt with it for so long that I'm just tired of dealing with it and I just want it over with. So it's just simpler to make it where it's one. So 9 times out of 10, if I'm making something, it's going to be layered on top of this dress. Just because I know that it has one mesh cut. Sarah, what time are you planning on streaming? What am I looking for? What am I looking for? I tend to also, in my work in progress folder, I have like a lot, if not all, of the hairs already downloaded and meshes pulled. And I definitely have this mesh pulled because I use it on like every jumper. But I don't want to go find it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull that and we're going to pull this. I'm glad that I left Photoshop open so that I can fix the texture. 2 hours? Oh yeah. Good. I'm sure I'll stop long before then. Because at some point I'm just going to start boring y'all. Because this really is a lot simpler than y'all think it is. You just got to do it and then keep doing it. I went and watched the Hab Sims Frankenmesh tutorials that are linked on my blog or my Tumblr. And I watched them, both parts. It's a two different videos where she made a hair. And I watched them over and over and over and over and over and over at like 3 in the morning when there was nobody awake so that I could completely focus. And I like to do, when I'm Frankenmeshing, I like to do it in neutral colors or white just so that I we understand. Just so that it's not distracting and I get an idea of what it's going to look like. It has no actual bearing on the texture. Um, I already forgot what I was saying. Oh, I watched her tutorials over and over and over, and I pulled the meshes and I just tried to follow along, and I did it over and over and over. And then I went and pulled some meshes and started trying to do it on my own, and I got fed up and I couldn't do it. So I went back and I watched hers some more, and I was like watching them as I was trying to do my own stuff with different meshes. So I got fed up. I put it aside. A few days later, I pulled some more meshes and I started again. My phone just rebooted for no reason. Um, and the second time it worked. And I just followed along the videos as I went. And the second time it worked, and it was I don't even remember what I've named the hair now. It's a side ponytail. But I did that, and then oh God, I cannot remember the name of the hair. Come on. Anyways, once I got that down, I went back and I finished the first hair that I tried to do, which was my Ella hair that I was making for Cinderella for my um, Disney legacy that I never really posted. I just posted some screenshots of. And then I just kind of went crazy and just started making all kinds of stuff. Then I started clothes. By the way, I added links to my Twitch and my YouTube on my Tumblr. What is the name of that hair? Everything's being slow. And I know it's because I've got Photoshop open. Okay, so we're going to close this. We're going to open the overalls. Yeah, we understand that's not working. Okay, so the first thing I do, of course, is I go and I join it all together. Eh. Now, sometimes I will open the other one and join it together and then save it as merged. Sometimes I will just try to append it and guess which layer is got the part that I want on it. It just depends on how much of a hurry I'm in. Okay. Now I could have edited that and just got the part that I wanted, but this is usually the way I do it. just so that I can see it on top. And I delete all the parts that I know for sure that I don't want. No, I do want those. Okay. Now if you hit B, you can do a box instead of doing L. Then I delete it. Then I hide it with the little eye, and I select the top one, and I start deleting what I know I don't want. Then I turn this one back on, and I start making it look a little better. I start deciding if I want it to have that belt, what I want it to look like. Then, once I have this part, I join the two together. Then I come in here and I start, you right click. Let's see, we turn all this on down here. Put it on vertex, turn this on, and then you hit G to grab it, and then I click back so that it gets all the little pieces that wasn't connected already. I missed a layer. Or a little. Oh, it was just further up than I thought it was. No. Okay, I see what the issue is. I left a little more on those shorts than I wanted to. Okay. Join those back together. Okay, here we go. What are you doing? Why are you being stupid? There we go. Don't know why that cut off. No. Senna, please get settled. You can join, I usually try to join it depends on how you want it to look. Sometimes I join the top to the bottom, sometimes I do the bottom to the top. But when it's all yellow or orange like that, you know that it's joined. I can't live without at least 10 tabs open, Sarah. I just can't. And I try to make sure that I get everything joined, because if I don't, there's always issues. Why is that being... Okay, it's joined. A lot of this is just tedious work. No. It's not actually, once you know what you're doing, it's not really hard. It's just when it does that, it joined to the front of the outfit. So you have to make sure. Wait a minute, I'm going to show you. I go look inside and see where it joined to the front of the outfit. So I just undo. Okay, so now it's joined. Now we have an outfit. Then I take, I don't have it open. I take this one. So are we still following along? Is it still making sense? Okay, so we take the mesh that we just finished and we import it. Now, we also need to fix the texture so that it looks right. This is the part that I always put off because I always hate it because it's just, to me, this is even more tedious than what I was doing in Blender. So I take this one and I copy it and I lay it on top of this one. And then usually I do this. And then I turn that one. Well, no, usually I do this. So then we have to fix the... Now, there is probably a much easier way to do this, but I select the shorts. And then, no. Why did I do that? No. Why did I do that? There we go. Okay, then once I do that, and I know where my line is, then, come on. Did I not save it as, no, I didn't. And then we do this. Shabam. You have an outfit. Then you got to do the loads and change the categories and make all this blank. But otherwise, and go look at it in CAS and make sure it doesn't look like completely crazy. But otherwise, you have just made your first Frankenmesh. Any questions? Is there even anybody still there? Or have I just bored y'all all to death? I told you it was pretty simple, Erica. I'm pretty sure that we've had this conversation. It's not that hard. You just got to know what you're doing. You got to get in there and try it and learn and have somebody that's willing to help you when you get stuck. Because I promise you, the more complicated you try to do it, like the more complicated meshes that you try to slap together, the harder it's going to be. But it's not like going to be, it's just going to cause difficulties like weight issues or this, that, and other. And you just have to know somebody who can help you when you have that problem. For me, I have always went and asked Detron and Tien Moon, and they are very sweet, and they have helped me many times. And it's usually some stupid little thing that I already knew to do, but that I forgot to do because I was trying too hard or trying to make it more complicated for myself or whatever. And but they have a Slack chat called Tien Moon's Help Desk or T's Help Desk or something. I can't remember the name of it right now. But they are very nice and very helpful. And without them, I probably would have gave up because I did have so many issues. You just have to play with it. Is there anything else y'all want me to show y'all how to do? At this point, I usually just go in and take this one and make it monochrome and then try to match it up to the same shade and merge down, and then it's all the same color, which that made that up there really light, so I don't like that. Let's see. No, that's not what I meant to do. Let's try 10. The shoulders are going to be really light. Yep, they're just going to be really light if you want the rest of it to match. I also usually, before I would even do that, I would delete the background, and then I would do this. I know. I'm trying to do things faster than you want me to. Okay. And then, no, that's the wrong one. I didn't change it back. It didn't update. Why didn't it update? Oh, it's still saving. Photoshop is slow. Yes, I will upload this to YouTube later. I am recording it as we go, and there's a lot of me babbling and all this other nonsense, but it will be on YouTube later for anybody who wants to go back and watch the beginning. And now it's fully white. Well, if y'all don't have any questions, or if there's not anything else y'all want me to show you how to do, then we will end this until somebody comes up with some other ideas of something that y'all need help with. And I may end up streaming later, like the next time that I make something, which will probably be when Pets comes out. If I don't come up with an idea before, I may stream the next time that I make something. If I had thought about it, I would have streamed when I made the autumn hair. Um, there wasn't really much to stream for the top that I posted yesterday because it was seriously just a whole lot of um, once I got the mesh separated, and all I did with it was I deleted everything but the arms and put a nude mesh on there and then connected the sleeves because really the top is mostly texture except for the sleeves. And then I joined the sleeves to the body, and that was all that was. It was super simple. Mostly what it was hours and hours of sitting in Photoshop trying to cover up the shadows on the texture. So there wasn't really anything to stream with that. But if I had thought about it while I did the hair, I honestly spent like 5 hours sculpting that hair, getting it perfect. So y'all probably wouldn't have wanted to watch that anyways. But I could have recorded it and sped it up and put it on YouTube if I had thought about it beforehand, but I didn't. So I will. I will send you that as soon as I finish up. But maybe the next time that I am creating something, I will stream. Um, Me and Sarah may stream later, day or two next week. Well, maybe not next week, maybe the next week. My mom's on vacation next week and she's got a lot of things that I gotta help her with. But we're gonna stream some Hearthstone and WoW some point soon. I will post that on Tumblr when we do. We may stream some Sims. We haven't really decided what all we're gonna do yet. But if y'all have any more questions, or if y'all want me to show y'all how to do something more specific, or if y'all start trying to follow along and you have issues with whatever you're creating, just send me a message on Tumblr and I will be happy to help you. And if need be, I can stream what I'm doing to show you how to do whatever you're doing. Because this just seems to be a lot easier than I helped my friend Amy a couple of weeks ago make a hair, and we were doing it step by step, typing it out in Discord, and this seems to be a lot simpler way of showing y'all what I would do, how I would do it. But like I said, if y'all have any questions or y'all want me to stream showing y'all how to do something else, just send me a message on Tumblr and I will be glad to do it. And if y'all don't have any questions, then I will stop here so I can eat some lunch before Callie Simgirl gets on and starts streaming whatever she's going to stream today. I think it's Tomb Raider. Okay, then. I will talk to y'all later, and thanks for stopping by. Thanks for those of you who followed me. And thank you so much for just coming by and hanging out with me. Bye.